Hello and welcome to our first Vulgate Day. We've been looking at Genesis 1:1. On Friday, we looked at it in Hebrew. On Monday, we looked at the Septuagint in Greek. And today, we want to look at the Vulgate. The Vulgate, of course, is the standard Latin translation of the Bible. And of course, there were some old Latin versions that we have some manuscripts of from like the 200s and the 300s. The Vulgate became standardized with Jerome. Jerome is the one who kind of translated the Vulgate. Jerome lived, I believe, in the 400s, I think the early 400s, if I remember correctly. So the Vulgate represents somewhat of a standardized Latin version, and that's what we're going to go with. Of course, it became kind of the Catholic Church's Bible, pretty much. I mean, there are all kinds of Greek texts as well for the Eastern Church, but in the Western Church, the Vulgate was pretty much the Bible of the Church for 1,000 years. Okay, so in principio creavit Deus caelum et terram, and I'm giving you the classic translation, not the church translation. Okay, so in principio, in beginning, creavit, created God, Deus, same order as the Hebrew, same order as the Greek, right? Verb first, then the subject. Caelum et terram, heaven and earth. Okay, so Genesis 1:1 is not too hard in any language. Well, let's dig in. I don't know whether you've ever had Latin before, and so certainly you can learn Latin this way if you want. So principio, um, now in the normal text, the macrons over the O here, not there, but it is a long O. It is a dative, neuter singular from principium, meaning beginning. Now neuter means, well, it doesn't really mean anything. Dative means, in this case, it's dative because it's in takes the dative. Um, and so when I think in can also take the accusative in Latin, but in when it's with the dative, it basically translates as in. And if I were teaching this, I might say that the preposition in is a little dictator that says you must be in the dative case if you're with me. Anyway, at least if you're going to mean in, it means something slightly different with a different case. But um, really, the in is clarifying the meaning of the dative, that it is a kind of a sphere, or I'm sorry, a dative of time, when God created. Creavit is the verb, and the V indicates that it's perfect tense. So that indicates it's a past tense, and it's active. T is a third person singular. The verb is creo, to begin, to be create. So if it's perfect, it's created. And if it's third person singular, it's he created. Could be she or it, but I know the subject is Deus, and Deus is masculine. So we'll say God created. Active, he's creating, he's not being creative. Indicative, it's a statement, right? Um, Deus is nominative, which means the subject in this case, masculine singular from Deus. So in the beginning, God created, even though the order is not that way, the nominative tells me this is the subject. Caelum et terram. So this answers what? God created what? He created heaven and earth. They're the objects. And so the direct object, the accusative case is the case of the direct objects. Both of these are accusative. Caelum is neuter, and it's singular, heaven. And terram is also accusative, but it's feminine. The alpha, not an alpha, the A indicates it's feminine. Terra firma, solid ground. Um, Caelum, in Spanish, cielo, sky, heaven. So Caelum is all one big happy Indo-European family. Well, that is Genesis 1:1 in the Vulgate. And I've tried to give you my parsings so you have a sense of the grammar of Genesis 1:1. See you on Friday with Genesis 1:2.